Hi, so I'm joined by Larisa Budaeva, who is the founder of Nation.Better. Larissa, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
How's it all going for you now the BGV program has finished?
Well, it's been really busy since program ended. Yeah, and we've been really busy with development of our product, and it's kind of really exciting times for us.
Excellent. So would it be possible if you could just say a little bit about yourself and your journey to creating Nation.Better?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Larisa Budaeva. I'm a CEO and founder of Nation.Better. So actually, the reason why I kind of established this company, I immigrated to the UK in 2013. So I worked in corporate for all my career, so for more than 9 years in management consulting and financial management. And I went through this really bureaucratic, quite inefficient immigration process myself. And when I looked at like different alternatives on the market, unfortunately, people don't have a lot of options. And usually what happens is because you're a migrant, you're quite in a vulnerable position because you want to stay in the country and you want to settle and live your life in here. Sometimes people just kind of decide to go to immigration advisors to make sure that the applications are right and correct. And the same actually happens with companies as well. So they hire quite expensive immigration firms to make sure that they're all compliant. And I guess my personal experience kind of showed me the opportunity on the market because currently, unfortunately, immigration advisory sector doesn't necessarily have this, I would say, eager for technology and eager for innovation. So that's why industry itself doesn't have necessarily a lot of automation and robotics in place, and a lot of tasks and routine processes that are still done by human beings. And obviously, this is as a consequence impacting the prices that they're charging their clients. And yeah, so I think like in general, obviously, technology it's a thing, I guess, that everyone is embracing in different other sectors except immigration advisory. So we believe that this is something that we can improve through our technology that we're implementing in Nation.Better. Yeah. So.
Thank you. So you said a bit about how the current system is really quite inadequate and structurally difficult. How
Mm.
is Nation.Better going to streamline that process?
Yeah, so usually why people go to immigration advisors is because by design, home office requirements, they're quite difficult to read, and people get lost in like hundreds of pages of guidances. And what we're doing is we're providing tailored cases to our clients. Specifically now, what we're developing the product for B2B customers, like for companies who employ migrant workers in the UK. So through automation, we simplified and streamlined the process how they can, first of all, capture all data that they need to provide to home office, make sure that this data is correct, and as well as documentation that needs to be provided to home office to confirm their eligibility to become a sponsor. For example, we're also kind of doing this through technology. So there is a little impact from the human being. So we automate as much as possible. We're streamlining the process. All documentation is basically submitted to home office literally within seconds.
Brilliant. So I guess it might be a little bit of a difficult question to put an exact number on, but just for a point of comparison between Nation.Better and the standard migration pathways,
Mm.
the difference of like time frame, expense, I guess
Yeah,
anxiety and stuff.
yeah.
I would see what are the big step ups?
Yeah, definitely. So far, when we interviewed potential customers and companies who already employ migrant workers, usually first step for you is to become a sponsor. So usually you go through this application process to become a sponsor. And immigration companies, they usually charge the minimum what we found in the market recently, it's £2,500, which is probably like for bigger companies doesn't necessarily a huge amount of money, but for SMEs and startups who want to bring international talent to the UK, it's quite a big amount of money as a one-off cost. And if you compare this actually to the government fees, because usually you pay £536 for your sponsor license, and you pay almost 5 times more in terms of the supporting fees, it's quite discouraging, I guess. And what we do in our company, so we're providing actually the same services, so people are using our platform to combine all of this in one place, make sure that the process is streamlined and they have all information, and they share this information with their future migrant worker, as well as with internal HR professionals as well. And we charge for this £350. So it's almost 10. If you compare like with the higher end, obviously it's like £5,000 when you go to the bigger immigration companies. So so this is what we charge.
Fantastic. And to make all of this work in the medium to long term, as I understand, machine learning, automation, and so on, technology will be used to streamline this process and make it more and more efficient. Is it possible, in like quite plain terms, just to say a little bit about how that will get incorporated into improving the product?
Yeah, definitely. So we are already actually starting in August. Starting from August, we are developing and investing our effort into developing machine learning technologies, specifically with the law, because immigration law is changing quite quickly. And considering that Brexit happened and started from January 2021, there are going to be a lot of regulations that are going to be changing, and it's never-ending process basically in the UK. So we want to make sure that our technology is agile. So any change that comes in, it's reflected straight away on our platform in terms of guidances, in terms of requirements for employers and for migrants themselves. So what we do through NLP specifically, so we are developing the mechanism how we can read easily within seconds different regulations and law, and how it straight away reflects, and our customers can be notified about any changes and so on and so on. So obviously there is a huge way for us to go in terms of the developing technology, because sometimes it takes quite some time. So I think it's just, our vision for the future is make sure that people who are coming through all of these processes, there is, a lot of available information for them, because this is our mission, I guess, for the company, to make all of these immigration processes accessible and affordable. So you don't have to spend a lot of money, a lot of time. It should be like, you should have this confidence as a person who goes through the process, that you are supported at all times. And this is probably something that we want to achieve through our platform, as well as giving this kind of empowering, I guess, feeling for people that they're confident in going through this process with particular knowledge and attitudes that everything's going to be fine. Because trust me, it's really stressful process.
Well, you've alluded to Brexit being quite a big field change in migration law, and in general the picture is borders are getting trickier and more legislatively difficult. Is this where Nation.Better and its kind of agile model really comes into its own? Is this something that
Yeah, so I think obviously Brexit is going to impact not only migration in general, it's going to impact so many other areas. And I guess another thing is that COVID, the global pandemic, impacted also how different businesses looking at their workforce, and also looking how they operate. There is still a huge appetite for UK business to bring international talent in the UK into the country, because even you have all of these virtual models and you can operate around the world, around the globe. You don't have to have physically people in one place, but I feel like still a lot of companies kind of prefer to have everyone in one place, making sure that they collaborate more effectively and so on. So with Brexit and COVID, I guess a lot of people are looking into their cost base, and I believe that these high charges, because by the way, this £2,500, what I mentioned before, it's just a fraction of what companies going to incur within five years period, because usually it's calculated around 16,000 for one employee, and for startups obviously or SMEs it's quite a lot of money. So I think that this high and expensive service is no longer justifiable, and industry itself, they know that. They know the attitude towards different technologies is changing as well. People prefer more digital solution, really accessible, really easy to use, user friendly, with really good interfaces, a lot of capability, and obviously really secure. So I think it's just the shift. Brexit, I guess, was the driver for a lot of things that is currently happening on the market, in immigration particularly. But so I think all of this kind of drives a lot of realization that something needs to be done.
And taking it back to the company level, what's on your immediate horizon? What are your kind of goals, your tasks, your things that are keeping you busy at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. So currently we're a 6-member team, and we're working on our public launch of our first digital service, which is going to be helping companies to apply for a sponsor license. As I mentioned previously, we're charging a fraction of the price that normal immigration firms are charging. And we are planning to kind of release our product publicly, probably end of August, beginning of September. So we are really in the mode where we're testing our product. We're running pilots next week, actually, starting from next week. So with selected beta testers. So let's see how it goes.
Awesome. Well, that's all very exciting. And thank you so much. It's been really interesting to learn more about Nation.Better. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Will.
Take care.